Some time ago, Thomas Sheridan said something that always stuck with me. He said that when you get to 40, you realize that 20 years isn't really that long a time at all. And it's very true. The reason I'm making this video and doing this walk and talk, which is very rare for me to do this, I don't know how this gimbal is going to work, but anyway, is because this year, 2026, is my 20th year on YouTube. It's not a big achievement, really, when you think about it. I mean, people have email accounts that are older than that, but I have been a full-time YouTuber since around, I guess, 2008. Back then, I was doing technology, and I moved into social commentary, politics, and then film and television reviews, and you know, I guess I've reinvented myself a few times. Yeah, 20 years is not a very long time when you think about it. When you're 30, those 10 years between 20 and 30, it feels long, you know. But between 30 and 40, those 10 years feel like 5. And now that I'm 43 this year, I feel as though the next 7 are gonna pass. Like, I can already see like 50's like not that far away. 7 years doesn't feel that long. I can't believe I'm 20 years doing YouTube. So for better or worse, I chose all those years ago to make my living off YouTube. And I did it mostly because I couldn't stand working for anyone else. For better or worse. I mean, it probably isn't the safest form of revenue, because unfortunately with YouTube, it speaks a lot to the nature of impermanence. It can all just go bang at a moment's notice. You know, people get demonetized, or, you know, they can shut you down for anything, and, you know, the goalposts always change, policies change, so you just never know. It was just, I couldn't do the regular, I could never do the regular 9-to-5 job. I never liked working for anyone else. It just wasn't my thing, and I've been self-employed for so long now. But yeah, YouTube, it's part of the reason why I've started writing books, because I've noticed with the YouTube algorithm grind now, when you upload a video, you get a spike on the channel, but it's a peak, but it's a very quickly, over the next day or two, it's a trough very fast. There used to be a gentler slope, you know, and then a slight plateau. So whatever's changed, you're sort of in a hamster wheel in the algorithm. You have to churn out more content more frequently, and when you're starting to do that, you're not really giving it your best, I think. So you want to do quality over quantity. And that's part of the reason why, you know, long term, I don't think this kind of content creation has a future. I think you've got to have something else going on. And so that's why I've started writing books. I'm writing my second sci-fi novel now. And I was hoping that would be done by the end of the year, but I've been busier this last 6 months, last year really. I think 2025, I probably made more videos on YouTube than I ever have. And so, just out of necessity. It's just the way it is. I'm not complaining. I'm not saying, oh, woe is me. Like, it's good to be able to work. It's great to be able to do it. But long term, I'd like to... I've been saying this to so many people who I follow, you know, whether it's content creators on Substack who write great articles over there, people who are on Twitter doing spaces or streaming on YouTube or wherever they are, or doing videos like this. It's all so impermanent, you know. These platforms, the content is on, you know, we don't know. We might reach a stage where it all just disappears. You know, it's stored on hard drives somewhere. And that's why I think physical media is so important, and that's why I'm always telling people, you know, get your articles, get your content, get your scripts for your videos into books, into paperbacks, hardbacks, ebooks, whatever. But get it into print, I think, is more important. You know, after it's all said and done, however many years I'm doing this, by the end, whenever it comes to an end, whenever it's over, whenever I stop, whenever that'll be, I want there to be some form of physical content to show for it. So that's another reason why I started writing books. I didn't have an awful lot to say today. I just really wanted to test this gimbal out and see. I'm not really holding it very well, but anyway. But I think the topic of the impermanence of the digital, the non-physical, is a good segue for where the world is at the moment. It's unpredictable. It's stressful, and like many of you, I doom scroll. I look at things, and I try not to get too caught up in it these days. What will be will be. I think people are going to make preparations. I think self-sufficiency is going to be the key going forward. And some people are getting into off-grid living and this sort of thing, which I think is great. But it's like it's a baptism of fire. But it does feel as though that the period of abundance that we've been born into is coming to an end. But it may not. This situation is so volatile. It's so random. Like it could carry on for years. It could end tomorrow. That's sort of the nature of it. So I won't try and make predictions. I'll be wrong. You get used to situations that are inconvenient very easily. I remember there was in January of 2025 we had that massive storm, and we had a major power cut. And we had no electricity in our home for 12 nights. I know some people were affected much worse than that, but the house was so cold that I put the fire on, and I'd sleep beside the fire in the living room, because obviously I couldn't get any heat into my bedroom. And I was sleeping on a blow-up bed, and the floor was actually very comfortable. But as difficult, and what I do is I go down to the shops. There's some people at generators, and you charge up your devices and this sort of thing, and come back. But you kind of get used to it after a while. I got used to cooking on a gas stove. I was able to charge my laptop, and I still had a 4G connection, a 5G connection, so I was able to still make videos a little bit, albeit I had to be very quick because I'd have to go then the following morning and charge everything up again. But there was a way forward despite everything, and that was in winter, and that was the depths of January. There you go. You adapt. I'm waffling here, but there is one other thing I want to do, and I want to introduce you to somebody. Come on, boy. Say hi to Worf. There he is. Worf is 4 years old now. I've had him since he was a puppy. Yes, I did call him Worf. It's a good name for a dog. Sit for me. Sit. Good boy. He's a boxer shepherd. His dad was a boxer. His mother was a Alsatian. They're quite a rare breed. Super high energy. Very loyal. And very easy to train. He is extremely intelligent. Well, anyway, I won't waste very much more of your time today. I'll sign off there. Thanks a lot for watching, and to those of you, there is a small percentage of you who've been with me since the very beginning and remember the channel way back in 2006, 2007, 2008 when I was getting into technology. But anyway, however long you've been with me on Computing Forever, or on the Dave Cullen Show for that matter, Thanks very much for being here, and take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.